This is the last of the men's quarterfinal matches. The winner to take on Novak. And I'm also delighted to say, given that we've got American on court, that we have one sitting courtside in Ryan Harrison. Good evening, Ryan.
Great to be with you guys. It's a beautiful night for tennis down here. As far as conditions go, it's not too windy at the moment. It's really nice weather. It's not hot out at all. It's very, very nice courtside, and I don't expect that the elements will be much of a factor here. So just two great players going to be able to go at it.
Confirmation of that on the screen, just 21 Celsius, 71 Fahrenheit if you are American and you prefer that measurement. Really keep an eye on those return points won for Shelton. It's been a big uptick this fortnight comparison to what he was able to achieve last season. But in the last 19 sets that they've played, he's only been able to break Sinner on 5 occasions.
Jannik Sinner there, just outside our commentary box. He was, I wouldn't call it breathing hard, but he was exhaling there about 4 times. Just to calm himself down. Just a few nerves early, it's normal. Trying to break that first sweat, really.
And that'll be very much of the modus operandi tonight, excuse me. He wants to come in a lot. He did it so well against Ruud in the previous round. Won 29 of the 30 points when he came in. Break points saved is at 79% for the tournament so far. How important could that one be in the context of this opening set? course, we've spoken about the fact that Shelton will want to get forward. And Fitzy, that's an area of this guy's game that has certainly improved incrementally in the last couple of years.
Well, he's a complete player, as Carlos Alcaraz is as well. They can handle their game anywhere in the court. Back court, forecourt, side court, any court. Complete players.
Hard, clay, grass, indoors, outdoors, it don't matter.
Well, guys, early on here, Sinner just struggling a little bit. There's been a couple gusts that have picked up, and his first serve percentage was a little bit down. But if you look at the last 8 matches, and you said 19 consecutive sets, if you're looking at the positive for Shelton, and of those 8 matches, he's forced a tiebreaker in at least 7 of them. We take a look at the win predictor here, 72%, and that's probably factoring in the fact that they've played some close matches and they've had some tight matches. He actually had set points in multiple of those encounters. He had a set point here last year when they played. The biggest thing that I was impressed by yesterday or 2 days ago when Ben played against Casper Ruud was the way he hit his backhand off the ground. It was the best I've seen him hit his backhand in quite some time. He was hitting with aggression and getting it through the court, and that was what allowed him to get up in the court and have so much success in transition. He was winning some of those baseline rallies, which he needs to do. And as you said, Robbie, he needs to break more, needs to win more return points, and particularly needs to win more second serve return points.
There's Bill Barrow. He's celebrating with an ice cream and cornetto, sitting next to Chris Harrop, the new Tennis Australia chairman.
Just been inducted into the Tennis Australia Hall of Fame this evening was built.
Won this tournament as an amateur in 1968. A great man of tennis in this country. Wonderful Davis Cup player. Married to Leslie, who was also in the Australian Tennis Hall of Fame.
Yeah, nicely done to all concerned.
I mean, that return, he's so quick with his hands and his eyes, isn't he, Sinner? I mean, that was a pretty good serve, and it came out of the middle of the racket in Sinner's hand there. Great timing.
I mean, just to put this into perspective, last year when they played here, Shelton only won 57% of his first serve points.
Oof.
And 46% of the second. So those numbers certainly have to improve out of sight.
Well, you'll see times tonight, surely, under pressure, he'll go for that second serve, maybe more than he normally would, because he's going to need something special to hold that second serve against Sinner. And the way he started returning here, Jannik, he's going to need to serve his first serve awfully well too, near the lines. That's big. Big serve. Woo. 232 early.
That was quick, watching that go by courtside. Unbelievably quick.
He went straight at the body too.
23 years young. Sneaky good.
40-30.
Well, people say, why don't players serve and volley more these days? Well, this is the reason. Nothing wrong with that serve and volley point. Going to the forehand probably was a mistake, but that was a simple pass for Sinner.
How good was the deceleration there?
He's tried that twice, Ryan. We might go to you about that in a little while, because he's tried to chip that ball twice short off his backhand wing, and The first one in the first game wasn't very successful, and that one didn't clear the net at all. So maybe there's a pre-thought out plan there.
Well, you can see again there his variance on serve going from 232 to 172. That's a 60-kilometer-an-hour variance, which is incredible on the first serve. But yes, Fitzy, I agree with you completely. I think that the way that Sinner strikes the ball and likes it in the zone, varying that backhand spin is going to be important.
Can give you confirmation, Ryan, that serve of 232 is the fastest of the tournament so far.
Well, he's just lucky that Fitzy doesn't play anymore, or else Fitzy would have that record.
You know, I thought I could rely on Ryan, my old mate. Didn't think he'd turn on me.
So, guys, one of the things that's going to be really important here for Shelton is his court positioning, because Sinner loves to hug the baseline, and even when he plays that slice, if he plays that slice and then he backs up, it won't matter much because Sinner's going to take the ground. So he's going to have to do some things to get up in the court.
Yeah, just remember when they played last year, service points won for Shelton was way down. That number's going to have to hover around there for this match.
Well, I think that was a mistake. He should have taken that in the air. His overhead was probably the best way to win that point.
Well, that's what we saw plenty of in the Rude match.
Advantage, Shelton.
And again, just a reminder, he came in 30 times against Casper, won 29 of them.
The body again. Well, this is an indication you've got one of the best serves in the world here, and how hard it is up front for Ben Shelton to hold this opening game.
Too true. Coaches of Jannik there on the left, Simone Vagnozzi and Darren Cahill on the right.
Well, that's got to be part of the game plan, and it is. I mean, his dad, Brian, mentioned that in the interview before we started. He needs to stay up in the court, take the ball as early as he can, and move forward. Great forehand to set that up.
Man on the left there is German Hunnichen, the physio. Argentine, I believe. Of course, used to travel with Dan Evans.
Robbie, we were talking on the Shelton match a couple days ago, and we were talking about the Mount Rushmore that you had for best athletes. And one thing Brian Shelton said there in the pre-match conversation was Ben's a great athlete. And I put him in my Mount Rushmore of athletes and movement on tour. I think he's as explosive as anyone. I think he moves and covers court really, really well.
It's a good shout.
Ready for play, please. Thank you. 59.
You know, a good example of that was that deuce point where he pulled that inside-in forehand, and then you see him out of frame for a moment, and by the time he reappears in frame, he's on top of the net.
You know, it's the innate ability of Sinner, and I've got to mention Alcaraz again. When they return, how good they are at getting their racket on the ball and having the ball come out of the middle. I mean, you can see the difference here in return games immediately in this match. An incredible ability to hit the ball in the middle on the return off big serves and get the ball back in play. That's a different angle, you know, having to hit the second serve out to the left-hander, out to the backhand wing. So that can have a little bit of an effect on rhythm early in a match. Well, wonderful two-hander there. He's got some versatility on that side, but it does worry me a little bit with Ben Shelton, Ryan, that slice of his is not always heavy.
I was just looking at that. He cleared the net by some margin with that slice.
He did. It's a bit light at times, and if he hits that with any inkling of a short reply, Sinner will be all over it. He'll smash it into a corner.
Faulty 13.
Ooh, yes, sir. And pretty good timing there.
That came right out of the sweet spot.
Jeez.
This is struck right in front of our commentary booth, and as you can see, it just melted into his strings and left Sinner stranded.
Advantage, Sinner.
It's good to see that he's making some inroads already on the Sinner serve.
Ball. Cain, Sinner. Sinner leads 2-1.
We're still on serve. 20 minutes played for just 3 games. Well, folks, I want to show you something here, and these are the return points won for Shelton over the last couple of seasons, and this is year-end numbers. 2024, he wasn't a top 10 player, but in 2025, he managed to crack the top 10 with the second lowest return points won in 33 years of year-end top 10 finishes, and only one other player has been able to do that, and his was slightly lower. And if you think hard, it's an outlier, of course. It's John Isner, because his serve was so good. But in order to become a top 5 player, no one has ever been below 35%. So still some ground to be made up with that particular shot for Shelton. But the good news for him is that so far at the AO, he's been at a very healthy 37%.
Time.
One of the reasons we bang on about the return points won for Ben is that in 33 years of top 10 finishes, only one other player has had a lower return points won than him, and that was John Isner, as I've referenced before. No one's ever cracked the top 5 below 35% return points won in a season. Is out of order. Absolute genius.
Love 15.
A wry smile on Jannik's face as he walks back to where we're sitting, around the post, if you don't mind.
Well, I say talent hits a target that no one else can hit, but genius hits a target no one else can see.
Guys, the life is in the building right
15-1.
now. I got to see an up-close view of Jannik Sinner around the net there. That happened about 20 feet in front of me, and then Shelton just sent a message with that second overhead. He must hit that thing 232, that one itself.
We've got bulletproof glass in this commentary box, by the way, Ryan.
Just ice cold clarity.
15-13.
I mean, as a net rusher and a volleyer, he does nothing wrong here, does he, Shelton? But he laced that return like in his sleep. He could have hit that. Incredible skill.
Well, it's better than most, I can tell you that much. They know it.
15-14.
Just relentless with his depth, pace of shot. Wow.
He's not happy with that. That was a simple miss by his standards. But how good does he cover the spin on the Shelton? That's a big, heavy kick serve. Left-hander, mind you. And he covers it so easily with his forehand. I can remember some of them flying off the face of the racket.
Yeah, sideways. Still a second chance to break.
Well, Fitzy, that right there is why Sinner was so annoyed at the previous miss. When you create those opportunities on the Shelton serve, he has the capacity to take it away from you with a big serve or a big first ball after the serve. So when he made his way into the rally and just missed a routine rally ball on break point, that felt like a missed opportunity.
Yep.
He's carved from a different cloth, this guy.
Advantage.
Take your
Sinner.
time again, buddy. Make your play again. Come on. Doing great. Let's go. Vamos. Vamos.
Broidered that point with his shot-making ability.
Deuce.
Come on, ready to roll. Let's go.
Well, the further up the line you go with that slider, that it won't necessarily register as high on the speed clock, but still a big one wide.
Advantage Sinner.
There's the example of that forehand covering the spin, incredible. Gets it low and slow, straight at the feet of Shelton. That was awkward.
You've got to be so creative, haven't you, with that kind of incoming ball. Fourth chance to break.
Please.
And he's the one to draw first blood.
Well,
Sinner leads
So many
3 games
meaningful
to 1.
returns made in that game, Fitzy.
I've got to admit, Robbie, you know, when he saved 2 with first serves, he misses the first serve there, and I glanced at Brian, his father, and there was a bit of body language there from his dad. He knew that the second serve was a whole different ball game than the first. And either he's going to go for a big one.
Backhand, if you're on the run, elevate a little bit more. I know.
He's a calming influence, isn't he, Brian? Really speaks beautifully, I think, to a player on the court. But if he has to hit the second serve, it spells a bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's only won 1 out of 5. Translates to 20% success rate behind it. To your point, Fitzy.
Sweet. Now that was clever. He's got the ability to hold his hand here just out in front with an open palm with the racket open, and made Shelton move before he actually hit the ball. Holds it, and Shelton moved to his right.
I mean,
Beautiful skill.
Great movers, right? This guy's right up there, especially for somebody who's so tall. Gets down so very well.
Well, Robbie, when we
13.
were having that conversation about our Mount Rushmore of movers, Roger Rashid was here in courtside position, and he had Sinner as his 4th position when I had Shelton, and we both replaced one other of your top 4, so Sinner was in the conversation as well.
Well, he's just putting on a masterclass right now.
Yeah, and this is a matchup that can tend not to give you rhythm at times against a player like Shelton. The lefty, the big serve. It's harder to find rhythm. If he's playing a right-hander that stays back and rallies, the rhythm will come easily. But he's performing here, as he normally does, without some of that rhythm.
It's hard.
And he's just playing beautifully.
A love hold. First game that hasn't
to
gone to deuce. And Sinner will be delighted because he's 4-1 to the good. Well, we know that he's a special talent, is Jannik Sinner. So often we talk about the shot making, but it's so often what's between the ears. Your decision making, your clarity of thought in the moment. And he's thinking, yes, around the net is on, but I can't hit it hard. I'm so close to the net. I don't have a lot of court to work with. And that camera shot to capture a moment of brilliance.
Beautiful, isn't it? I mean, the skill there, you know, to hold, and you've got to have presence of mind too. Look at the reaction. They all knew how good that was.
Well, we just saw a slow motion again of that shot round the net from Sinner, and we were just musing to ourselves that both him and Sinner, excuse me, him and Alcaraz certainly carved from a different cloth. And at times throughout 2025, we were almost certain that cloth was the Shroud of Turin. That's how good he's been. Shelton needs to hang on here, Fitzy. 1-4. Well, we were speaking about about Shelton's dad, of course, and Ben played for his father, college tennis, 2 years he was at college. He was coached by his dad because they won the team competition at the NCAA. Ben also won the individual a year later. He was there for the 2021 season as well as the 21-22 season. Fitzy, what a lot of people don't know is that this man in the picture also won the NCAA tennis championships with the women's team at Georgia Tech. That's how versatile he is as a coach. The ability to coach both the men and women, different game styles and different tactics required.
Thank you.
As you said, he's done a great job with this man. Not always easy to get that balance between father and coach right.
Now, Brian himself was ranked 55 in the world, so no mean feat. Made the 4th round of Wimbledon. Back in the 90s.
15-14.
He's just getting so many balls back. He's picking this serve, as good as it is. He's picking it and really covering the spin, getting it back. And when he gets it back into play from the back of the court, he's favourite, Sinner.
13-14.
There's going to need to be more of those from Ben.
That was the 6th unreturned first serve, 6 out of 21. It's a 28%. I can promise you that'll be well below the tournament average.
Well, he tried to slide there, didn't he, and missed his step. Ben, I'm glad he didn't hurt himself there. I hope he didn't.
Advantage.
Just was a bit awkward there, trying to slide on the hard court. He's okay.
That'll add to the unreturned tally. %, I can tell you. He's down from an average of 33% for the tournament so far.
Advantage Shelton.
Everything becomes tougher to maintain when you're taking on the very best. Well, that's a good hold, and it's an important hold because
Sinner leads 4-2.
This will be the last game with the old balls. Ben will be hoping that the ball doesn't move through the air as quickly. It gets a few more looks at the returns. Coming off a love hold in his previous service game, however.
He's talked about using that more, hasn't he? Here we are, two great men of tennis there. Both won singles titles on the ATP Tour. World rank, both of them. Two great coaches now.
I mean, Ryan, every time I watch Sinner play, I am just gobsmacked how disciplined he is with getting under the ball with those legs. It's just phenomenal how good the footwork is. I'm convinced that goes back to his skiing days as a youngster. Remember, that was his first love. He was one of the top junior skiers in Italy until the age of about 13. That sliding downhill when you're going really fast, you need the power and balance in your legs in that crouching position.
Oh my goodness, what a shot. Gee, created incredible angle there with that topspin.
I'm just leaning over here, folks, just to pick up Fitzy's jaw off the desk.
Well, in slow motion, you can't really tell how well he hit this. It's a rocket.
Sinner.
11 straight points on serve now for Sinner. He has got this opening
Sinner
set
leads
by the
5 games to
scruff of the
2.
neck. It's 5-2.
Time.
Well, Melbourne in all her glory has provided us with some magnificent weather. A couple hot days, 2 really blisteringly hot days, but I don't think it will be the same without having at least 1 or 2 of those to test the players' reserves. This man got lucky against Elliot Spizzirri when that heat index reached 5. He was down 3-1 in the 3rd set, and at that very moment the roof was closed and he managed to come back against the other American college standout. Because he had some seriously bad body cramps going on.
Well, you just can't drop the ball there, and that's the problem. It's against a lesser play, you get away with that forehand in the middle of the court, but it was a mishit short, almost near the tee, and the point's going to be over if he does that.
Well, Shelton's going to get some new balls here to help out, but the cooler temps are definitely going to make it a little bit more comfortable for Sinner to get into these service points. A hotter ball, a hotter day, a little easier to get into these service points for Sinner when it cools down.
Fitzy, I mentioned the Spizzirri match in the 3rd round. I can tell you that only one person has broken Sinner the whole fortnight so far. That man is Elliot Spizzirri. He broke him 6 times. All the other guys, nada.
15,
Not Gaston, not Duckworth, not Daugherty.
Great pressure, Mike. Great pressure. Here we go.
Oh.
Ooh, that was a tough one. Straight at the body. What a ripping serve there.
That's all.
That actually jammed up the wrist of Sinner. He kind of shook his hand after this. Watch this. It gets right in on his body, and it kind of jams his wrist in an awkward position. You can see him kind of shake it afterwards. It was a little bit of an awkward swing.
I think he was waiting for the ball to kick a little bit, but it turned the other way. It slid into his body. It was heading straight for his head, actually.
Ryan, I can
14,
recall a
15.
similar scenario. Our fellow countryman, Neville Godwin, was playing against Boris Becker. I want to say it was the 3rd or 4th round at Wimbledon. And the same story, a body serve actually jammed Boris's wrist, and Boris had to retire a couple of games later.
Ben Shelton.
Shelton's doing well here to keep this just at one break, and the crowd's trying to support him. Let's take a look here at this return of serve again. Yeah, you can see that's just a really awkward contact point, and with the force of the ball coming in at 196 Ks, which that second serve was, he's trying to fight this off. Look at the action on that ball. It's great angling there to see how much it's moving into his body. And I see you guys there with the great angle behind in the box too.
Well, for me, he was thinking it might hit the surface and maybe move back a little bit the other way, as his regular second serve does, but that had slice on it, and it chased him.
And Fitzy, I just got to say, that's a beautiful shirt you got on. I saw it right down the line there. You're looking sharp.
Hey, too late for compliments now, pal.
"13 points in a row on serve for Sinner and counting."
Well, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, don't they? Well, there's a couple of guys around now that don't have many weaknesses, but there is a difference here, a different tempo when Sinner serves and Shelton returns. Not quite the same pressure as Ben exerting on Sinner when he's serving. And you'd expect that.
Good night. And when you talk about dictating with metronomic baseline control, look how accurate he is with these big forehands.
Cain and first set.
That's 15 straight points on serve for Sinner
6 games to 3.
to close out the opener. 6 games to 3 in 49 minutes. It just shows you how important that very first service game of Sinner's was, fighting off that break point. The scary thing is that Sinner's only serving at 46% first serves in. But how's those winners to unforced errors? My goodness. 4.5 times as many winners. Who doesn't like a 4.5 times return on an investment, Fitzy? What do we sign up for one of those? Yeah, this set had a little bit of everything, didn't it?
It's just an indication that he rarely misses. And I know that's an oversimplification of what's transpired, but he just makes so many balls, and when he gets a chance, he hits a winner. Incredible control of his racket face and his timing. He's a rare breed.
Well, Italian tennis is flying high, and it has been for the last couple of years now. The Davis Cup champions for the past 3 years, 2023 and 24. Sinner was part of that team. Of course, he sat out last year. They still won it without him. Set number 2. Yeah, big shout out to Flavio Caboli and Matteo Berrettini, who spearheaded that quest to again defend the Davis Cup title that Italy had won the year before. Sinner got a bit of a hard time in the press for not playing. They get a little greedy. They hadn't won since I think 1976.
Guys, Shelton's going to have to do something to disrupt the rhythm for Sinner right now. We saw 18 winners to 4 unforced errors. You guys were talking about that. After winning their match in Shanghai, as you can see, he's lost 20 consecutive sets. If this just goes in rhythm, Sinner just doesn't make mistakes. He's got to do something disruptive here.
Wow, that's impressive athleticism. But Ryan, what would that be? Because I think just by default, Ben's game is disruptive.
Well, Brian was talking about trying to get the ball up a little bit more, and I agree with that, because Sinner in the zone, it doesn't matter how fast you hit the ball, he'll send it back faster. And a case in point there was that 196-second serve that came back even faster. That serve right there, a bit slower as a first serve, 181, but has a lot of action on it and gets the movement that makes the mistake. And you saw, as you said, last year, the variance between first serve points and second serve points wasn't that great.
Yeah. Against Sinner here, he only won 57% of those first serve points.
Getting the crowd involved here is going to help Shelton as well. Yes, and just to kind of put a pin in that, Robbie, the second serve points I think you said was around 46. And of course, that's only about a 10% variance, which is not that big. That tells me that his spin serve is actually just as effective as the flat serve.
That's the Kenny Powers fastball right there. 226 kilometers an hour, burning through the air.
And that's a big one to have. And you got to use both when you have that cannon. I'm not saying he gets away from hitting that one, but I love the way that the previous point on the ad side, he hit that slider, a slower, heavier one. So using that variation is what's going to be so key here. And the win predictor, as you expect after winning a dominant first set, is showing even more favoritism toward Jannik Sinner. Shelton's going to have to find a way to break this return game, this return point streak one.
Very good. You called for it, and Ben has answered.
Well, he's hit an outstanding lob, hasn't he? But it's probably a few less options, I think, on the return games, because his serve is so good. He can mix that in and put Sinner on the back foot a little more than he can on his own return games. Because Sinner serves well himself.
15 all.
Return there, buddy. Good return. Way to get over there and hit that.
I mean, and he's tried to come in. He has. He's chipped the ball and come forward. He's hit the ball hard and come forward, and with not a lot of success yet. So that option hasn't worked so far, but he has to persevere and mix it up. I'm with Ryan. He's got to disrupt if he can, any way he can find. But if Sinner serves that well, he's not over serving. I wouldn't say he rolled that one in, but it was only 172. It was such a good serve, though. He dominates the point because the return is so short. The point's over when the return goes there and it's slow. But that's why it's hard to beat him for a number of reasons.
Full T, 15.
Way to hit and move, man. Really good there. Come on, come on.
He knows
Getting better and better. Let's go.
how good Jannik is. I think that wry smile said a lot.
Full T, 13.
Allez, fa niente. Allez. Allez, adoro.
That was a beautiful bend backhand.
Jeez.
Good job. Make sure you're covering that line when you come in with pressure. Okay. Cover that line up.
Yeah, it was a serious backhand, wasn't it? Just more forward speed.
I don't know about you, when I watch Sinner and Alcaraz play, they never make the wrong decision, or so rarely on their shot selection, Fitzy.
Ben Shelton. 1 game all.
Well, in talking to Sinner after his win against Darderi the other day on court, I asked him about the serve improvement. He has broken his own record twice in this tournament for most aces in a match. And after noting that he'd made a couple technical changes on the serve, he also pointed out that he's been intentionally coming in more. And I have to say, the technique on the volley, it looks even cleaner and more crisp than last year.
Nice.
That's a disruption
Love 15.
or an attempt at it. An off-speed serve, gets up high, comes in, tries to volley, but the return just asked too difficult a question there. So it really is a difficult objective in front of Ben Shelton here to try and disrupt Sinner. Not many can do it. It's fascinating to see how well he returns. You know, did Brian then say he'd put more on that?
I didn't quite hear.
Yeah, because it wasn't a bad second serve. I mean, it was 181 wide near the line, and it comes back so deep.
Brian's been telling Ben to keep using a little bit of the spin variance. He's also been telling him to cover the line when he comes in. He said you can't give him the line, make him hit the cross-court angle.
Third serve.
Good job, man. Come on, another one here.
Rod Laver Arena, the centerpiece of Melbourne Park.
So I think he's got to persevere, surely, moving forward a reasonable amount, I think. But he just needs penetration to come in behind. Not always easy to do, but he's got to endeavour to get that deep, forceful approach shot so that he can make his volley a little easier.
Just watching Sinner carefully here. I don't know if he's just misstepped or there's a niggle somewhere. Just walked again right in front of our commentary box. We're right down in the bunker court side. Might have just been a misstep.
Advantage Sinner.
Just relentless pressure. Just rock solid. No
Sinner
holes in Sinner's game at the moment. He leads by a set and a break. Well, we mentioned that 15-point win streak that Sinner went on with service points won, and you can see why the placement of that first serve in the opening set was incredible. Now, 50% probably doesn't do him justice, because you've got to remember those serves out wide are hit with angle, aren't they? So that's within 1 foot of the service line. Ace is coming out wide on the ad side. That's not easy to execute, but it's been a serving masterclass. Different spins as well. Different pace of serve.
Time.
Scary thing is there's still room for improvement. Only made 46% of the first serves. But it's a shot that he's tinkered with quite a bit. I remember chatting with his childhood coach, Ricardo Piatti. So important we give that man a shout out, because he was the one that really built the Sinner game. Took him to top 10 in the world. Jannik was coached by him since the age of 14. He tried the platform, tried the pinpoint, he went back to the platform. And of course under the guidance of Darren and Simone, he's gone back to the step up. That's been a mainstay now. And it's nicely done by Ben.
Love 15.
Robbie, there's one other little thing that I'm noticing on the center serve that looks a little bit different, and that's his take back. It looks a little bit more in the line with a traditional continental grip compared to more of like the forehand grip. Not that he had a full forehand grip, but on the serve and the volley, he looks like he has more of a continental slice grip now.
Stop.
Of course, that final change to the step-up serve came after an early loss at Roland Garros in 2023 to Daniel Altmaier. Darren was thinking about tinkering with it. That had the discussion, and after that loss, the early loss, the very next week, he decided he's not going to wait till the end of the season to change things. He's going to start in Hertogenbosch, and he did exactly that.
Ryan, do you think it's worthwhile, Ben, thinking about sort of crushing that second serve and rushing to the net, and a bit of difference on the return? Because if he stands back like that and doesn't take advantage of a second serve, he gets in the rally and he's not going to win the majority of them.
Absolutely, yes. He's got to do some things to make the match a little bit more disrupted and a little bit of an uglier match, so to speak.
Yeah, he's won a couple from the back of the court here, lifting his baseline game.
30.
That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, this is the best 3 points we've seen from him in the match. These 3 baseline winning points. Gone up a gear. Hadn't produced something like this
30-14.
so far.
There was some good calm control in that point from Ben. I love the explosive intent at the end of it.
Thank you. Please. Stop.
That's what you wouldn't get from Alcaraz or Sinner.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was the slowest second serve of Sinner in this match. And he's been caught out by it.
Yeah, he knows it, but that's one that you can't miss against a player like this, especially after playing such an amazing 30 all point to earn the opportunity just to hand it right back. You just can't do that in this match.
Stop. Advantage, Shelton.
Well, the good news for the American is that he gets another bite at the cherry.
And the Sinner first serve percentage has been dropping here. It's a few ticks below 50% now.
Juice. Advantage, Shelton.
Will it be third time lucky for Ben?
Juice.
Well, he was certainly due for a first serve. But good inroads from Shelton here to try and get this break back.
Advantage, Sinner. Sinner.
And in a service game where he missed a lot of first serves. And that
Sinner
was
leads
coupled with the fact
3
that
games to
Shelton
1.
made some good positive plays, some good inroads. So I'll be happy that he's escaped unscathed.
Well, early stages of the first set, he had a game where he could have broken because of the first serve percentage dropping, and he definitely had a good look at the break there. He earned those opportunities, but then when he got them, he just couldn't string those points together. So again, Sinner escapes.
And just a reminder, still the only person to break Sinner in the tournament so far is an American college standout, just not Ben Shelton. Of course, Elliot Spizzeri, who played at the University of Texas.
He's lifted Shelton though, hasn't he?
He has.
His ground strokes are more penetrating now. And that's the difference, I think. I mean, you got to keep making them, that's for sure, because he's given away a few unforced errors during the match, that's for sure. But he's more penetrating now and making those volleys a little bit easier.
Ball to love. Cain Shelton.
Still playing catch up is Shelton. Sinner accepting a breakup.
Time.
Well, it's the last of the men's singles quarterfinals. Novak Djokovic, a win earlier today in quite dramatic fashion. He had lost the opening 2 sets to Lorenzo Musetti before Musetti pulled up injured. Looked like the top of his thigh. He felt it in the second set, but it just became too much to handle.
Thank you. Please.
And Novak was up 3-1
Thank you.
in the third. Musetti just walked to the net and had to retire. So Novak awaits the winner here. Sasha Zverev will take on Carlos Alcaraz tomorrow in the other semi-final. Excuse me, on Friday.
And then you're a little bit more compact and on the ball. I like it. Good job. Come on, doing great, buddy. Better and better.
Just one piece of information. That was all, a nice encouragement thereafter.
T15.
Mentioned that Ben came out of college after the end of the 2022 season in May. Of course, that's when he turned pro. And what a 6-7 month stretch he had at the tail end of 2022. He beat August Holmgren in the finals of the NCAAs in May that year. Fits in. Holmgren said you could tell straight away this guy was so ready for the tour. The serve was a joke back then. He had matured physically. Was such a different player than what he was in his first season at college the year before.
Sinner.
Robbie, I had a conversation with Ben about some of the players that he was playing against in college a couple days ago. We were talking about it after his match, and he was saying how deep it was. He talked about Holmgren in that final and said that he played really good tennis, big boy tennis. He felt like that he was really ready just because overall the level of college tennis his year that he won it was so high.
Yeah, so true. Because he made the finals of the Tiburon Challenger. He won Charlottesville, he won Knoxville and Champaign. 3 challenges at the tail end of that season. And that got him to the cusp of the top 100. And in just a second ATP event earlier on in the summer, he beat another Italian, Lorenzo Sonigo.
Yeah.
And of course, Casper Ruud was 5 in the world at the time. That was at Cincinnati, remember that?
Yeah, like 6-3, 6-3. It was routine, I think, against Casper, but I think that's what he was getting at. He just didn't feel like it was that big of a jump because of how high the level of college was in that year.
Yeah. Good point.
15-all.
He's that shape shifter of a serve. Not as quick, but snaking through the air with plenty of bounce.
Third zero.
Take your time here.
T 13.
He's doing well when he's coming forward.
Juice.
Take your time again.
Just a quick 6 count.
Advantage Shelton.
Shelton's box. Up above, of course, there's a guest box upstairs, and all the coaches, physios tend to sit court level. Ken Kinnear from the USTA. So good friend Nick Monroe also sitting in his box.
Shelton.
And some big serving to round out the 7th game of the 2nd set. It's hanging about here is Shelton, but he's down 4-3.
4 games to 3. Time.
$14,500 when it is packed to capacity, and it certainly is this evening. Day 11 of our live coverage. It's in our friends and family, but that man, front left, is one of Jannik's oldest friends. Alex Viteur grew up playing tennis with him. Alex now manages all of Jannik's affairs, business interests, and all the important stuff. Played a bit himself. Always
59.
been an important confidant for Jan.
From the Shelton point of view, it's disappointing he lost that early serve in this set, because he's competitive now. He's got to maintain it, because you know this man will. But he feels like he's got his teeth into the set now, Ben.
Unfortunately, Fitzy, this is a new balls game for Sinner, so it gets even more difficult to break with those new balls that fly and move a little bit more.
Right, just give us an idea when you're playing the very best. They're all such good front runners. Just give us an idea of what it's like to try and reel them in like Ben is trying to do in this set, and in the previous set for that matter.
Yeah, that's a great question, Robbie. You know, you have games where they play on the return where they just play lights out. Like the game that Ben got broken in this set, he didn't really play a bad game at all. Sinner just stepped up and played unbelievably. And Ben has actually played some really good tennis just to keep this to one break. But it's been those one game in each set where Sinner's dipped in his level, and Ben's had those opportunities, and he hasn't been able to convert on those. And I say that to point out that, you know, there's moments through the matches where Sinner hits these levels of play that are just unplayable, and you've got to try and stay with them, and you've got to try and keep that score line as close as possible, because scoreboard pressure is your best friend in this situation. If he could get to 3-all, 4-all, 5-all, then Sinner starts to feel the pressure, but up a break, up a set and a break, he feels very comfortable.
Sinner leads 5 games to 3.
It's definitely a suffocating feeling when you're on the other side of the net from Sinner, because he takes the time away so well and the ball gets up on you so fast. Even Musetti was saying after the quarterfinal match at the US Open with Sinner that he's never felt a ball speed get on him that quickly, talking about Sinner.
Love 15.
But part of that is the length that he maintains, isn't it? Because the moment that ball hits the court, it slows down significantly.
It's a heavy ball, isn't it? It's hard to fathom, you know, like these strings, these rackets, the amount of spin they create.
Love 13.
Wonderful touch. Thought he might have been in trouble there. Came in against the forehand. Sinner just dipped it with no pace rather than try to crush a winner. Dips it low. This one. Good feel. That's where he took a risk. And at times he has to, I think, on that second serve. That's big.
I think that's smart, Fitz. If you're going to take risks, take it with one of your best shots.
It's his best shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, 199 Ks on a second serve to try and get a free point.
That's juice. Advantage, Shelton. Shelton.
Well, he's guaranteed himself at least one more look at the Sinner serve in this set. It's 5-4.
Sinner leads 5 games to 4.
Been a popular request, those big blue water bottles from a couple of my good friends back at home, as well as the tournament towels. Okay, of all requests I've got for tennis swag on this year's Australian Open. Those are top of the list. What a magnificent sight that is. Of course, moved here in 1988 from Kooyong. Did the Australian Open. And Melbourne Park has just been illuminated with greatness ever since. Serving for 2 sets to love lead. Oh, wow.
Love it.
You don't see that too often, Robbie.
Well, that's definitely the slowest serve I've ever seen.
Guys, that was right here in front of me. That was a miss hit halfway up the net, if that.
Does that mean he's human, Ryan?
I wouldn't go that far.
15.
He might have just felt it's more entertaining for the crowd if he faced a deficit in this game. You never know with him, all the spectacular stuff he can do.
Here we go. Come on. This game. This point. Stay there.
Just wrapped his eyes again.
15-13.
Yeah, I saw that up close. That's a strange reaction there. Just not sure if that's something visually or if that's just like a little bit of blurriness. Sometimes the heat and exhaustion can cause dizziness, although it's not too hot out, so.
Such a big swing.
Right back. Come on, he's feeling it. Come on, go, stay there.
It's a big swing in your chances of breaking serve at 15-30. The serve is only at 65% chance of holding. And once he gets it back to 30 all, it jumps to 80% for the service chances of holding. One of the things that Sinner does so well, I call it tidal tennis, where he moves in and out from the baseline, depending on how well his ground stroke is struck. Always looking to take it early. If he needs to create more room for himself, he backs up. He's earned himself a set point. It's going to sail along. Jannik Sinner has taken a commanding lead in this contest. He wins the second set, 6-4, and I tell you what, that fan will be delighted. There's no doubt that Ben's made a few inroads. A lot more intent, 13 winners as you can see in this set. More effective behind his first serve. But it's always tough when you're playing catch-up, when you're a break down early against these guys, Fitzy.
Absolutely. Look, he was very competitive, wasn't he, after the break in that second. It was anybody's set if it had been on serve. So he's got to take some heart from that, and his father was encouraging him there, saying, you know, he's feeling it, the opposition. Stay there. And maybe that meant physically or mentally, but he was good then, Ben. And still lost the set.
Time.
Just on that sit down.
Yeah. You know, you guys picked it, you know, with the eyes. There seemed something a bit strange there. He wasn't feeling 100%. And when he won the set, he sort of jogged off in a strange fashion, I thought, towards the chair and then put a towel over his head. Maybe he's just feeling a little bit run down from the other day when he had the cramps, or just not 100%. I'm not sure. He seems okay there. Well, that was actually walking to the chair.
Yeah, that was the little trot you spoke about. It was unusual. And
thank you.
It's not quite normal, I don't think. So maybe he's a fraction off colour. Well, you nearly hit 3 winning forehands.
Love 15.
The defensive player makes you play that extra ball. Gee, that's good defence, isn't it? And you can't put it away, you lose the point. I, for one, thought but Shelton was going to win that point halfway through it.
That shot in particular has looked really solid in the second set, setting the backhand nicely.
He's got him with that, hasn't he? I mean, that's quick, coming straight at you. And because it moves in the air and it kicks off the surface, it's really awkward coming at your body.
Hold T15.
Come on.
nice little bit of
First
serve
game,
volley.
third set.
He's actually done okay when he has come in. He's won 14 out of 21 has Shelton. It's about a 70% return.
And that's a lot better than he gets off the ground. So whenever available, he's got to trust those odds.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ryan.
Oh. Oh.
Currently on a 19-match win streak is Sinner.
I'm still not convinced, Robbie. He's feeling 100% here. He looks, it looks a bit odd, the way he's reacting.
Yeah, I'm with you.
On about 6 or 7 cylinders out of 8.
Well, guys, when someone kind of grimaces a little bit like that and you're not sure, a lot of times I focus in to see if they're having any back and forth with their corner to talk about maybe something going on. Usually they'll tell them if they feel something, and I haven't seen anything yet. So he might just be kind of feeling some fatigue, but not something serious.
Just missed it.
Faulty 30.
Gets a good piece of the net. Sinner was there.
Cain Sinner.
Mentioned that he was on a 19-match win streak going back to Shanghai last year, where he lost to Talon Griekspoor. Actually, Talon retired him in that match. In fact, he only lost to one player in a completed match other than Carlos Alcaraz. That was Sasha Bublik in Halle.
Ready for play. Thank you.
Taking that good winning stretch at the tail end of last season, bringing it into the new year.
15 up.
Didn't play a warm-up tournament before the Australian Open, Sinner choosing just to play an exhibition in Korea. Did that with Carlos Alcaraz. Shelton played in Auckland the week prior to the Australian Open. Played 2 matches there. Lost in the quarterfinals to Sebastian Baez. We often forget Fitzy, the first time he came to Australia back in 2023 was the first time he had left America. It's hard to believe, right? And he was almost a top 100 player.
Yeah, incredible.
And
yeah, in a global sport.
Yep. Almost never happens.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you can see he's got that firepower that his dad talked about. The forehand's dangerous. If he can control it more efficiently, more often, it's a weapon.
And guys, don't forget, in the 8-match win streak that Sinner has had over Shelton, they've played a tiebreaker in at least one tiebreaker in 7 of them.
That was a good game, a really good game, authoritative. Shelton takes a 2-1 lead in this 3rd set.
Time.
Here we go, mate. Big energy.
Day 11 of this year's Australian Open. We're getting to the very sharp end of proceedings now. Women's semi-finals is set. I can tell you there's only one spot remaining for the men. Winner of this one will take on Novak Djokovic, who won via a retirement earlier today. And of course, Musetti was up 2 sets to love.
What a disappointment that would be.
It's got to hurt.
Oh, big time.
14 love.
First serve percentage hasn't been quite good enough, has it, Jannik? Not to his normal standards. A few more of those would make these service games a fraction easier. But winning that one convincingly anyway.
2 games all.
So Ben needs to keep his level up now. It can be dangerous here.
Here we go. Another good service game. You're finding your rhythm now. Stay aggressive.
Alcaraz, Djokovic and Sinner could become the second trio to reach the semi-final in all 4 consecutive majors. After Djokovic, Murray and Nadal. It was between French Open in 2011.
The Australian Open.
And the Open in 2012.
He
certainly hasn't been under as much pressure, has he? Ben Shelton on the service games as he was early in the match. A little bit of intensity out of the Sinner return games.
You just can't defend against that kind of shot making.
I mean, the difficulty factor there on that last shot for most players is pretty high. This last forehand, he changes direction, goes over the high part of the net like a rocket. Too good. What a beautiful shot.
Scary part of that is he's still playing with margin for him. Everybody else, that's high risk. Okay, look what he's just found.
That was off of a 215-kilometer serve, that return.
You got it. 1-2. 1-2. In your end.
Had the look in his eye there too, going towards his box. Is this the game?
It's just unyielding baseline pressure.
Come on, you can do this, Ben. Come on, man. Come on. Vamos, vamos. Come on, man.
Two break point chances.
First serve, bro. Come on. Allez. Allez.
Ready to roll.
Juice. Oh.
Absolute top shelf. Possibly his best point of the match.
Advantage.
He mixed it up.
Shelton.
Crushes this forehand. Crushes the volley, by the way, and then takes the speed off that one. That's impressive.
Shelton.
Growing in confidence is Shelton. Fights off a couple of break points, and he is thoroughly enjoying
Shelton
this
leads
battle.
3 games to 2.
Well, it's very interesting when you have a look at the difference between these two guys on second serve return hit points, and we can see that Shelton, more often than not, I would say, likes to be about 2 meters behind the baseline when he makes contact. Different ball game altogether for Jannik, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tight to the baseline, more often than not inside the baseline, up to a meter and a half, taking that second serve on the rise, trying to catch it nice and early. And Fitzy, you've alluded to the fact that every now and then you'd like to see Ben perhaps maybe go after a second serve. Take a page out of Sinner's book there, trying to create some instant pressure. Some bruising ground strokes mixed in with some deft feel. He's done a good job of giving Sinner a run around in a few of these baseline rallies. For the most part, it's been Sinner who's been doing all the dictating.
Guys, I've been watching Sinner very closely since we saw a couple of those steps that looked a little awkward, and I don't know if I'm late to the party here or if this is going to be breaking news, but I've noticed something really, really interesting after Sinner plays a point when he's inside the court. He refuses to step on any line at all. He steps over and around every single line on the court. So if you watch his feet when he finishes a point, if he's inside the court, he will deliberately step around every single line on the court.
Have to keep a beady eye on that. Good spot. Here we go.
30-15.
You'll see him step over it and around it, and sometimes it looks awkward, but I'm telling you, he's stepping on purpose around the lines.
Well, you know, this is going to start a trend now. All the youngsters who have just heard that, Ryan.
Oh. 40-50.
It's like a soft shoe shuffle.
Jannik Sinner. New goals, please.
It's a set. Sinner's having to play catch up. And the new balls will bring about a new change of rackets. Looks like he's sending off a couple of rackets to be strung as well as Sinner. Players get 5 free re-strings per round. After that, you've got to pay for it yourself. On a practice day, they'll probably have just 2 or 3 freshly done. Match day, what do you reckon, Ryan?
For me, it was at least 3 or 4 at the same tension, and then I would always keep one a little tight and one a little loose, just to give me a little bit of leeway if I at any point in time wanted to change, and then send a couple back off.
His body serve, I know he missed that for him, but his body serve's been effective, hasn't it?
It really has been. This is the direct body serve. He's got the other one that moves into the right hip.
T50. T50.
Well, how's about this for some nice spin?
I had a feeling he lost this ball in the lights. No, he had control, I guess. Great serve. Well, winning it a little easier, isn't he?
Shelton leads full game to 3.
Now we're still on serve here in the third.
Time.
What an evening to have a ticket for tonight. Oh, fantastic.
When he starts with that wide serve, Ryan, he quite often gets that short reply, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's so good at playing fast, the open court. It puts you in such a tough position because you feel like even if you hit a great return, if you hit it fast, you don't have court time to get back. He takes the time away from you.
Come on.
Come on, man. No time better than the present. Let's go.
Shelton with twice as many unforced errors as Sinner.
Feels like they're less now, though, than they were earlier. He had a lot of unforced errors, I thought, in the first set and a half, but he's tightened his game up a bit.
I think you're right. In fact, in this set, Sinner's had one more unforced error than Ben.
Faulty 15.
5 for Sinner, just 4 for the American.
Faulty 13.
I'll tell you what, Sinner's numbers at net have been outstanding. Ryan,
4
you
games all.
alluded to the fact that's an area of his game that he's also looking to improve on.
Yeah, and he was the one who pointed that out. I was asking him about his serve and the work in the offseason on the serve, and he said, and the volley. He actually put that out there himself.
And look, he's always been willing to come forward. I remember that epic match at the quarterfinals of the US Open when he played Alcaraz. 2022. He came into the net more than Alcaraz did.
He comes in on a very positive ball most of the time, though, doesn't he, Robbie? Which makes the volleys a little simpler. A bit like Rafa used to do. His ground strokes were so good that he would just pin the opponent down on the back of the court and be in there when it was an easy put away. There's a little bit of that in Sinner too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Shelton needs to come forward a bit more so that he doesn't have to trade the ground strokes as much. And so he's faced with some more difficult volleys. Uh-oh.
Love 13.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh, we just got some good insight there. There's nothing Sinner can't do. We know what his attacking prowess is all about, but how good were those defensive skills?
case in point, Robbie Koenig.
Well, if you look at the history we were talking about with the tiebreakers, having won 7 consecutive tiebreakers against Shelton, that's tough to do, and it just goes to show you how much he raises his level toward the end of the set.
Three break points.
Please.
Well, he decided to get on the front foot after the miss-hit return, and it was a risk, but a calculated one. Had to almost half volley that miss-hit to stay in the point. One saved.
What a time to break. And after the sit down, Sinner will serve for a place in the semi-finals.
Time.
Well, this guy's greatness lies in his completeness. Just that rare blend of power, precision, and poise. Effortless depth.
Thank you.
Defends with elastic calm. And now will try to serve himself into the semis. And then, of course, you've got the clarity of thought that is so beautifully blended with that ruthless consistency that he has from the back of the court.
Dirty done. Faulty love.
How complete of a performance has this been? Beautiful balance of offense and defense. 3 match points.
Please. Hold T50.
Ben Shelton has fought valiantly. He's thrown everything at Sinner tonight. Just hasn't been enough. Match point number 2. That's a brilliant from start to finish.
6-4.
Unplayable at times, but Shelton gave it his best. But he still cannot win a set off Sinner. A masterclass from the Italian. 2 hours and 23 minutes of high-octane tennis. He is through to the semi-finals here for a third time. 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. It's 22 sets in a row now. But it's been a good tournament for Shelton, no question about it. But as much as he improves, Fitzy, so do the two best players on the planet.
Yeah, we talked about it, didn't we, at the beginning? He looks pretty down there, I think, when he left, and you can understand why. But, you know, 22 sets, yes, but, you know, every set there you're thinking, well, he's got a chance in this set. You know, he just can't get over the line. I mean, Sinner's so solid, rock solid when it matters. You can see the disappointment there in Ben as he leaves the stadium. No, this guy's a gun.
Isn't he just?
He really is.
And I love those words, the great words of one of the greatest athletes, Ed Moses. He said that losing is not the end. On the contrary, it's the beginning of the inner dialogue upon which progress depends. And I think that's how Ben's got to look at tonight. There's plenty of good to celebrate. But he will become better after tonight's loss. Of that you can be absolutely certain. But this guy's greatness is almost defined by how little he leaves uncovered. Let's see if he's got all the angles and answers for our good friend Jim Courier.
Jannik, congratulations. You know, we all know how dangerous Ben Shelton can be out here, and yet you're able to handle him in 3 sets. What was the difference in the match tonight that got you the win?
Yeah, first of all, it's very, very tough to play against Ben. You know, a huge serve, and I feel like he's improving so much, you know, year after year. So, you know, especially after the off season, you never know how certain players are gonna play against you, and you know, changing a lot of things. So very happy about today's performance. As always, thanks for the support. It's amazing to play here on this court, and now let's see what's coming.
He might have the biggest serve in tennis. He hit one tonight, 232K. That's a rocket. That gives you about a half a second to react from the time it leaves his racket to it reaches your racket. How in the world do you return his big serves?
Yeah, I'm not good in mathematics, so thanks for telling me. You know, it's honestly, I don't know. You know, it's just instinct, and you know, not always, you know, the power matters. It always, you know, the serves I can handle, they are, you know, a little bit closer to my body, so it's slightly easier. But it's a completely different serve. It's also lefty. You know, we don't have many lefties in our game, so it's definitely one of the toughest challenges. You know, to return his serve. Also, the second serve comes with a lot of spin, and you know, the ball is bouncy here. It helps a little bit playing in the evening. It's a bit less bouncy, but still, it's very, very difficult. So, yeah, I felt like I returned great today.
Sure did. You're able to get through in straight sets. Not easy against Ben. And this has not been an easy tournament for you. You've had your challenges, especially last Friday when it was so hot and you were playing on this court and the roof was closed, when you were in trouble physically. I'm wondering how your body has recovered since then, because you were definitely struggling.
Yes, I was struggling. You know, we go day by day. I had a great win the couple of days ago against a fellow Italian, which gives you this, you know, good, you know, confidence boost also, you know, and today I felt like I was moving again a little bit better. You know, I feel stronger physically again, so I'm very happy. And of course now semis again. I'm very happy to be again here in the semis, first tournament of the season. And of course we all know what challenge I'm up to, but I'm looking forward to it, and we all hope for a great match.
So we'll talk about that challenge ahead now in the semifinals. You have been on tour now for several years. You never got a chance to play against Roger Federer. You did get a chance to play 3 times against Rafa when you were much younger. But you've played Novak, your next opponent, quite a few times. This will be the 5th time that you two will meet in a major semifinal, which is a lot. What has it been like for you to get a chance to play Novak in moments like this?
Yeah, I mean, these are moments why you practice for. You know, you wake up in the morning and you just look forward to play hopefully a good match. You know, if you want to win, you have to play at your best. So I'm looking forward to it. But also in the past, I had, you know, great lessons. You know, it doesn't really matter the result. It improves you as a player and as a person. You know, we are still lucky to have Novak here playing, you know, incredible tennis with his age. But again, you know, also, we play for you guys, but we also play for us, you know, and hopefully it's going to be a great battle out here, and then we see. But it's going to be, of course, very, very difficult.
It's never going to be easy to try and win this thing for the 3rd time, and there are just 4 men remaining, and it's the top 4 seeds. Carlos will be playing against Sasha Zverev in the other semifinal, so I won't ask you about your semifinal more, but what are you looking forward to in their match? I know you'll keep an eye on it, even though it's the same day you'll be playing.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, when you play in the same day, it's still a bit different. You know, you go with your own schedule, you know, you have the warm-up before, and so of course, you follow the score, but in the same time, we have one opponent at the time. It's going to be, as I said, hopefully a great couple of semifinals. We are all 4 very happy to be still here, and we hope for a great Friday again, and then we see how it goes.
Congratulations, Jannik. Well done. Another semifinal for the Italian.
And I think it's one of his favorite phrases. Fitzy, let's see how it goes.
Well, he's a modest young man.
Isn't he just?
And, you know, he chooses his words. It's not his first language, but he chooses his words carefully, and it's appreciated, you know. Don't get into trouble that way. He didn't want to say, let's see what happens on Friday and Sunday, because that would be saying the wrong thing.
Of course it would. Just having a look back, the fact that he's won his last 5 against Djokovic. He's also won the last 9 sets in a row against the Serb. So he'll be feeling pretty good about that matchup. And I think the numbers were pretty good this evening, weren't they, Fitzy?
Well, he was more outstanding at the beginning of the match, I thought. Just watching, you know, without taking stats, sitting here watching it at courtside, he felt like he was playing better stuff at the start. But he did enough at the end. And Ben certainly improved, I thought, and was more competitive from the back of the court. and did start to mix his game up a bit more with varying his serve and coming in a little bit. But geez, hard to attack. I mean, his defensive skills. We saw the guy who we have all thought for a while is the best defensive player of all time in Novak Djokovic set a new standard in his career about defending. Well, this guy is incredibly good at defending too, so it's hard for players to attack him, and Ben, I'm sure, felt that tonight.
Yeah, well said. So we are down to the final four in the men's draw as well as the women. We know that Carlos Alcaraz will take on Sasha Zverev, and the genius that is Jannik Sinner will take on Novak. Well, that was a whole lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it as much as Ryan, Fitzy and myself, and we look forward to your company again tomorrow. Of course, still more tennis to come here from the Rod Laver Arena, but from us three, it's bye for now. Hello and welcome to day 11 of the Australian Open. It's the last of the men's quarterfinal matchups.
Please welcome to Rod Laver Arena, from the United States of America, Ben Shelton, and his opponent from Italy, Jannik Sinner.
I wanted to be back here. I wanted to give myself another shot, and I have a lot more to prove.
That's big. Big serve. Woo. 232 early. Ooh, yes, sir. Pretty good timing there.
Oh, that is out of order. Absolute genius.
Love 50.
Just ice cold clarity.
Oh my goodness, what a shot.
I'm just leaning over here, folks, just to pick up Fitzy's jaw off the desk.
Ooh, that was a tough one. Straight at the body. What a ripping serve there.
That's it.
So that's 15 straight points on serve for Sinner to close out the opener. 6 games to 3. That's as good as it gets.
This is the best 3 points we've seen from him in the match.
Come on.
Wonderful touch.
It's going to say what? Jannik Sinner has taken a commanding lead in this contest. He wins the second set, 6-4.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you can see he's got that firepower that his dad talked about.
You just can't defend against that kind of shot making. Growing in confidence is Shelton.
So if you watch his feet when he finishes a point, if he's inside the court, he will deliberately step around every single line on the court.
That's a brilliant from start to finish.